and it clicked.
And just goes to show you, age ain't nothing but a number.
That's right.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of the slow dances back in high school. You know, you sitting there by the wall, got your drip juice in your hand.
Holding up the wall all night.
Holding up the wall all night, but when Love You Down come on, you just got to make that move across the room while you dripping, you know, getting your Jerry Curl juice all over somebody's members only jacket and like, excuse me.
Well, see, that's where Slide Over came from, because you slid over to that girl, and that's where Slide Over comes in.
Okay, tell me something. Something I don't know.
I tell you, we definitely take pride of being a part of folks of people's lives where we have been in terms of with respect to our music. For people to remember us, remember the records, the lyrics like they do, it's an honor.
Right. Now, what do you think is very special about that time period of music in the mid-'80s with you guys, Prince doing his thing, Morris Day at the Time, The System, and various other groups from that period?
Well, I think the special part of the mid-'80s was the fact that all of the influences of the 70s, because that's really the era we grew up in, from the funk, the disco, the rock, I mean, you name it, and there was so many different genres of music back then. That influence affected the 80s.
And people were writing real hits back then.
Mm. Right, that's definitely true. Because I feel like kind of like the music today, we're kind of losing like that art form. It's more about quantity over quality.
Right.
Now tell me about the follow-up after the debut record.
Well, then you had Our Long Time Coming, which had come out, which was one with Love You Down on it. And we have always stuck to our guns as far as writing quality hits, like you were saying, quality over quantity. And what we wanted to do is just keep people focused on great songs, ballads, whether it's ballads or up-tempos. And I think when you are blessed with that talent, instead of just writing anything and putting anything together, you just take your time and feel what it is you're putting out. Because if we didn't feel it, we wasn't putting it out. And a lot of times now, a lot of artists are just going by what somebody is saying rather than what they sincerely feel. Mm-hmm. And I think you got to love it first before you think the public's going to love it.
The second album is out and everything. You guys are touring, doing your thing. Then you're going to make the next album, which was it Straight Down to Business or Down to Business?
Right, Straight Down to Business.
That had Yo, That's a Lot of Body, right?
Oh, well, Yo, Lot of Body. What else did we have on there? Man, we had it was packed.
Like This, and Straight Down to Business. Can You Do It Like This?
Right. There's a few on there. Can He Do It Like This actually surprised us because it came out after what was it, Married? So I'm sorry, it's Straight Down to Business. And after Straight Down to Business, Can He Do It Like This just kind of took over the scene. Chicago really jumped on board with Can He Do It Like This, and that's what boosted it to go to number 6 for a couple of weeks because of the attention it was getting from the big major cities. And, Ready for the World has always, like you said, had been known for those ballads. And the record companies, they kind of slacked off at some point by doing promotion and marketing. But for whatever reason, people still could come back, even though they would say, okay, I hadn't heard the new album. They would go looking for Ready for the World a lot of times when the companies weren't really promoting like they should have.
And it seemed like on the Straight Down to Business album that you guys were affected by New Jack Swing. Teddy Riley was doing his thing with that because Yo, That's a Lot of Body had a New Jack sound.
Oh, yeah. Yo, That's a Lot of Body really should have been a single, but they were still trying to keep us ballad heavy, and I think Yo, That's a Lot of Body would have been another old Sheila for us.
Yeah, that definitely would have been a big hit because, it kind of reminds me of, kind of like what EU did with the butt. Like guys say, yo, man, you see that girl by the wall over there?
Right.
Yo, she got a lot of body, man. 36, 24, 36.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you guys were on MCA at a great time when NCA was blowing up. They had Jody Watley on there. You had Pebbles on there, the Jets. And, of course, New Edition was doing their thing with the Heartbreak album in 88 and then Bobby Brown with Don't Be Cruel.
Right. And it kind of got congested for a minute, and that's what happens sometimes. You got a lot of artists, a lot of quality artists, and not enough talent as far as in your promotional staff. It kind of gets congested, and you don't know. You got a great amount of good things going on, but you can't really give it all the attention that they all deserve.
Right. It's kind of like, you got like siblings, and you're one parent, and you got a bunch of kids that's clamoring for your attention, tugging on your pants, and all that, and you got to give attention to one or the other and do it one at a time.
Right. And
Okay.
with the record label, you just have to have the correct personnel to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks.
Now, tell me what went on after the Straight Down to Business album.
You've got Straight Down to Business. You've got the Rough and Ready album with My Girlie on it, which did well as well. That went to number 6 as well for a few weeks, and the same format as well. So really, Ready for the World, continued to come out with what they had to come out with. But as time went on, like I said, there still became a congestion problem over at Universal, at MCA.
Mm-hmm.
And as Universal got more congested, there were different things that the group had to do. We were out going on touring across the country, still selling albums. At the same time, we had different interests going on. Willie and Jarrell had formed a rap label. At the same time, I was starting a solo project. At the same time, different guys in the group were starting to do different things because we were getting older and realizing the business a little bit more. And always saying, well, basically, we'll all do certain situations and different business moves, but we can always come back together and do tours. We can always get together and do albums.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just stay in one situation. You got to explore different avenues in the music industry.
Right, because definitely the way of thinking you guys had at that point kind of remind me of what happened when New Edition experienced the success of Heartbreak, and then Ronnie, Ricky, and Mike did BBD. Mike went on to do Boyz II Men, and Ralph and Johnny went on to do solo careers, and then they came back and did stuff as New Edition.
And I think that was one of the heights of MCA at that time, because, like I said, they had quality groups, but it became so congested that, a lot of frustration began to go around with some of the artists as far as not getting enough radio airplay, a lot of radio time.
Right, definitely that. And tell me about that solo project you had out, Melvin.
Now, the Who's Is It project was, like I said, I was doing my solo venture, and we broke out there. We had a little issue with some of the promotion because BBD came out at the same time.
With Booty Mac.
Right. And what had happened at that time was there was more frustration there because you had Aaron Hall, Melvin Riley, BBD, New Edition, and it was getting more congested again. And even though we did good numbers in sales, and I did my promotional tour as well, but when you go out, you always want it to be right.
Right.
And, I was very happy and still pleased to do my solo project as well as to be able to come back and do something with the guys.
Now tell me, do you guys still get stories of people telling me that, man, I done had my first experience to this song, or my child was born off of this record, and this, that, and the third?
I tell you, we love to hear those stories. We definitely get them all the time, and we love to hear them. And that's what I was saying about how we appreciate being a part of people's lives like that.